Today's video is about overgiving, how to stop the cycle, how to break out of unhealthy patterns, and how to stop draining yourself by your need to overgive. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more topics just like this. So, do you give to others because it's habit? Because you've been taught that you have to give in order to be loved, that if you're not constantly doing something for someone, their love will wane, their love will evaporate, and then you're left alone. So there's some very core underlying reasons of why we overgive. Low self-esteem, low self-worth, no clear boundaries. When we give too much, it shows up in things like anticipating someone's needs before they have them, volunteering to do something for someone, right, that they're quite capable of doing for themselves. When it comes to family relationships, extended family, always being the one to cheerlead everybody up, like listen to their problems, be there if they need something, say someone's moving, you're always the one they call that's ready to help pack them up and move them to their new house or clean their old house, right? And then when you need to move or you need something, they're not there. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about overgiving. It shows up a lot in our romantic relationships. I've seen it a lot, whether you're a man or a woman. When you overgive, you're constantly the one that's anticipating what the other person needs. You're constantly the one making the plans. You know, you're thoughtful in the gifts that you give, and you're thoughtful about anticipating what they may need or what they may want, but you don't ever feel like anyone's paying attention to you. That's overgiving. Overgiving becomes very draining because if you're giving, typically, if you're an overgiver, you're giving to more than just one person. You're giving to your friends, you're giving to your family, you're giving at work, right? So where are you overgiving? As an overachiever, I was one that constantly showed up for work an hour or two before anyone else and got a lot done, right? Things that other people were not doing, even though it was in their job description, staying late, right? Working through my lunch, all these things. And eventually all that does is leads to burnout. But why do we do it? We do it because we have a belief that just being ourselves is not good enough. It's not good enough. We've got to do, we've got to give, we got to perform, we've got to achieve. And when you're liked or loved for what you do versus who you are, you're setting a pattern in your own mind, but also the other person's, which then sets you up to be disappointed because the minute you stop giving, you're no longer of use. And when you have that expectation from the outset and you set that standard for the other person that you are a giving person, and that's how you express your love, your generosity, they are going to expect it. So when you stop because you're not getting it back, the chances that they're gone out of your life are pretty high. Overgiving and people pleasing, always saying yes when you'd rather say no, it's not something you want to do, is so very common with people who just have not taken the time to set proper boundaries. So the first step in breaking your habit of giving too much and overgiving is to have very clear boundaries. Number two, in order to stop overgiving, we need to be very clear on why we're giving to begin with. Am I giving of my time? Am I giving of my attention? Am I giving a gift? Am I giving money because I feel this underlying drive to do it, or I feel like I have to do it? It's like a need that I do it. And it isn't just because I feel moved to, and it makes me happy. If you're giving in order to make somebody else happy, you're giving for the wrong reasons. If you're giving because it makes you happy, you're giving for the right reasons, right? Anytime we give a gift, whether it be ourselves or actual object, we absolutely are giving energy. And when we give someone something and it makes us happy, it doesn't matter what they do with it. It doesn't matter if they return it. It doesn't matter if I buy you something and you don't like it and you decide to gift it to someone else. It made me feel good to give it to you. We can always tell that we're overgiving when we give something and we're waiting for a response. We're waiting for a certain reaction, or we're waiting for the other person to give to us. Overgiving absolutely interferes with the natural flow of life. Overgiving absolutely affects how you view yourself, and it inevitably affects how you view the other person. So it's not only unfair to yourself to overgive, it really is unfair to the other person. You're setting your relationship up for disappointment, for resentment, and for disaster. We always want to check, why am I giving? Do I want to give because it makes me feel so good? There are times, especially when my daughter and my kids are adults, there are times when I love doing stuff for them. It just makes me so happy and so excited. Whether or not they ever do those things for me is not the point. Like if my daughter's been working doubles and she's tired, there are times where, I'll see, hey, she hasn't had time to do her laundry. She's worked 2 or 3 doubles in a row. Why don't I do it while she's sleeping, right? To help her out. That makes me feel good. And I don't have any resentment about it, right? That's a healthy form of giving. Now, if I was constantly doing it to get her attention, that would be unhealthy giving and overgiving. Lots of people get stuck in the routine of giving, right? And when you have more than one person that you're doing this for, it will drain you. Say you're the giver in your friend group, and that could be also construed as you're the organizer in your friend group. You're the one who organizes everything, makes all the calls, and does all the things to have an event happen. Another form of overgiving, very subtle. And like I said, at work, you're the person who shows up early. You're the person that goes the extra mile. You're the person that organizes everything, but there's no benefit to it. There's no reward to it. Now, if it just makes you super happy, it's not going to drain you. Chances are, though, it doesn't make you super happy. The problem comes in when we give and nobody is giving back to us. We're not giving to ourselves either. So to break that cycle, we first have to know in absolutes, why am I giving? Am I giving because it feels good, or am I giving because of some unconscious need and motivation to do something for the other person? Am I doing it because I don't feel good enough on my own? If you've answered yes to any of that, wrong reason to give, right? And stop it right there. Some people expect us to give, especially your birth family has an expectation, but in-laws can do the same thing. Culture can require that you do a certain amount of giving, that you give a certain amount of time and attention, and you fulfill a certain role. It's entirely up to you whether or not you decide to follow through with those expectations. But you have to think about it. You have to be conscious about it. You will not get drained from your giving if you're giving and making choices about your giving consciously. Why am I giving? And what am I getting out of this? If it's joy, you're giving for the right reason. If it's other people's attention, appreciation, them staying in your life, making somebody else happy, you're giving for the wrong reasons. So the only reason to give is because it makes you happy, truly happy, without the need for someone to stick around, without the need for someone to approve, without the need for someone to think any certain way about you. They don't need to appreciate you. They don't need to love you, give you kudos, any of that. That's proper giving, right? When we give and need a certain amount of attention back, we need a certain reaction, that is coming from the wrong place. So healthy giving that won't get you into trouble and will not put you into drainage mode comes from that state of just love, right? Healthy giving is seeing someone needs something, you have it, and you are so full of gratitude and joy that you get to provide that for them, right? Whether you get anything back or not. That's healthy. Unhealthy giving is when we give and we keep a scorecard, right? And then we bring it up in an argument. And I see this all the time. And a lot of people that get stuck in that place of overgiving do keep an invisible scorecard, and they don't even realize they're doing it. I've given this, I've given that. I took care of your dry cleaning, you know, I cooked dinner, I took out the trash, and you only did this. Unhealthy giving. And in some ways overgiving, and it's a subtle level of control. As children, we find ways to survive. We develop strategies in order to avoid any negative implications or consequences. So when I was a child, could never anticipate how my mother, who had mental illness, and she's also a narcissist, how she was going to react when she got home any given moment. So I developed the strategy of always having the house clean, taking care of the chores, having perfect scores on all of my tests, right? And trying to make sure anything that she might need if she came home and not good place was already done. It was my way of controlling my environment. And a lot of times overgivers, that's what we're doing. We're giving to control the environment, whether it's someone's emotional and mental and verbal response to us or not. We're just looking to control the environment in general. So we anticipate people's moves like 10 steps ahead. And in that place, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I give? Right? And then they'll approve of me. Then I won't get into any trouble. Then I'm safe. So when giving comes from a place of need to feel safe and secure, it's not done for the right reasons. If you recognize yourself in any of that, hit the like button for me and also leave a comment. What part did you resonate with? To make sure that you're in the right place with giving so that you don't feel drained and you don't feel like it's all one side and it's all you and nobody ever gives to you. Think about what you want to give before you do it. Now, if you have a habit of overgiving, you're going to have to be really, really on top of this, where you hesitate before you offer your time, attention, your help, or a gift to others. Hesitate, stop for a moment, and then just ask yourself, does giving this, fill in the blank, give me energy, give me joy, make me happy, or am I doing it for another reason? It's all you need to do. Make sure to watch the next video for more personal growth and spiritual growth topics.